Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is the update. So the last video I discovered that we had some play in the lower shock bush on the Hagen shock. Well, I'm pleased to be doing this video, this follow-up, in a very quick turnaround. So I originally contacted Hagen to request a lower bush, a new bush basically for the lower part of the shock. Because this is out of warranty. It comes with a 2-year warranty, but I've had it longer than 2 years. And they were quite surprised to hear, that it had failed in the mileage that it's done. I think it's done about maybe 14,000 miles, which isn't not a big mileage really. So they asked me to send it in. So I sent it to Hagen, and within a week they've disassembled the shock, and here it is. It's the unboxing. And I've received it today, and it's come back in basically in nearly as brand new condition. And what they've done is they've discovered that internally, I think the issue is at this end, wasn't it? Just lift this up there. That internally, so this is the bush that originally failed here. So originally I just got in touch to say, can I have a spare? And they says, well, we want to find out why that's failed. And when they've stripped it down, they've discovered that there was a fault with the damping rod, which apparently is very rare. They've never seen anything like it before. So they've very kindly replaced, pretty much stripped the whole shock down, replaced this end complete with the bearing here, and basically rebuilt it and give it a full service, and it's come back with a 2-year warranty. They've given me quite a big discount because obviously of the low mileage. So yeah, I have had to pay, but I didn't mind that anyway, because I would have expected to pay. It's more than 2 years old. However, they've done an absolutely brilliant service. So I cannot recommend the service enough at Hagen. Really, really nice, friendly fellas there. Everybody I spoke to, Dave, Tony, really enthusiastic. And they've sold a lot of these through Cooperb or Cooper B as part of the Overland Riser kit. So don't be put off by this, by the way, this post. I'm just saying that it's a one-off, apparently, failure. And the service has been absolutely great. So what I'm going to do is we're going to basically get this installed back on the Himalaya. So there it is. The Hagen shock is now in place. They've even sent it back with the exact preload that I sent it away on, which is great. So yeah, I've just torqued the top and bottom bolts up. So the next thing is to look at the airbox, get the airbox in. So this is a little bit of a faff, because we've got to negotiate the airbox basically up under the back wheel. Move all these electrics out of the way. Then we've got to unplug the ABS connector as well. It's not a big deal though. So yeah, so we'll get the airbox on, and there it is, the lovely Hagen shock. Makes a massive difference. It lifts the bike up, sag's about right, the damping's right, and really does make this this machine a versatile bike indeed. The thing that I didn't mention is in the video before was the drain for the airbox, which is here. So that's on the underside. There's the airbox, and there is a water drain. Now on the end of the water drain, stock, there's this little like blank which isn't cut. Looks to me like it could almost be cut there. You could drill a little hole in there, but that's actually rock solid. So what I've done is just put this extension pipe on with a view to being able to drain that if we ever do take any water in, which at the moment that hasn't happened. But it's just a precautionary measure. So if you look at the first video that I did, I talk about the piping on this airbox. So we're going to try and negotiate this now and get this slung back onto the bike. Yeah, so we've got the airbox back on. Just sorting out the electrical connectors. So what I was talking about earlier on was, so these are the relays, the troublesome relays. So there's 2 in there, actually 3. So I'll just tie up them together in a bundle. Out of focus there, but basically what we've got is, let's put the light on. Might make that a bit better. Put the light on there, and it comes on. Bear with me a second. There we go. So it's just an inner tube really, just round the bottom of the harness, round the multi-connector, and the idea is it just keeps the water, you know, and the muck out of the electrical connectors. So I've just pulled the relays out and give them cleaned them up and spread a bit of WD-40 on the contacts, and just basically put them back in these old inner tubes. So they're going to slot back into there like so. So the next thing I need to do really now is wrestle with the battery, and the battery goes obviously in the battery tray there. It's a very tight fit. But what I'm going to do is probably save that for when I can get the bike outside in the daylight, because I haven't got much room where I am at the moment. But yeah, airbox is on. Connectors are starting to come back on again. Got the tie wraps, we've basically tightened up the, probably can't see down in there, there it is there. Jubilee clips are tightened up on the throttle body and the breather at the top there. Yeah, so it's just an opportunity to go around and check all the other connectors and make sure everything's intact. I've got the battery on the Optimate, so that's been kept nice and charged. Okay, so what we'll do next time is we'll wheel it out and we'll get the battery put back in. Okay, so we've got the airbox back on. We've had a fight with the battery around this side here. So battery's an absolute nightmare to put in, but we've got that in. We've sleeved the connectors as I said I was going to do, so they're all sleeved up there now, and just tie up the cables out of the way. But this starter solenoid here, I'm a little bit concerned about the quality of the connections on from these thicker cables. The connections onto the solenoid are quite well, fragile to say the least, so hopefully that's all secure and not flapping about. Don't think it'd take much for these cables to just snap off the solenoid at this part here. So what I'm going to show you now is the final part, which is obviously the airbox cover. So one of the problems the stock Hemi has is that where I put a little bit of rubber. Basically, I've trapped a little bit of rubber behind. You can see it's an old inner tube. Just move that out of the way there. So you can see there, look. But there's actually an air gap. So if I put my torch on the back wheel, you can see there is an air gap basically between the back wheel, under tray, and the air intake. So if you go through any water, there's a chance that you'll get a load of, it could be water on the road as well, a big puddle, that if you get a load of spray that's going to go up through this gap and straight into the airbox. So we're going to put a bit of plastic, I'm going to wedge a little bit of plastic and cut it round the back and right up into the corner there, as far as we can get it, just as a bit of a shield. So what we've done now is we've put this plastic sheet. So I just cut a little bit of, it's just like a thin plastic corrugated sheet, which I've this sort of stuff here that I've lying around in the garage. I think it's off an old dishwasher. But any plastic you could cut on like an old oil can or even a milk carton, as long as it's plastic. And I've just tie wrapped it onto there and wedged it quite a way up. So now that is totally sealed at the back there. So when the cover goes on, so if there's any water from the back wheel, and it goes quite a way down as well, so obviously the fresh air will come up in there, round, and obviously up into the, so we've got 2 fingers worth of air gap under the air intake there. So okay, so I think that concludes the work that we've had done now. So the shock's been replaced, we've sorted out the electrical connectors. So we'll put the covers back on and we'll take it for a spin. So thanks for watching, folks. Hope you've found it useful to give a bit of an insight into how the Himalayan goes together and the construction of it and so on. Stay tuned and we'll keep you posted on how the new shock is. Thanks again for watching.